tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Derrial Christon. Welcome to another episode of Black Hollywood Live to Trend. Joining me today is my co-host, Courtney Stewart.
Hello, everybody.
And we got a great person in the house today that we're going to be talking to. He is a dear friend of mine for a long time. I'm not going to talk about how many years, but for a very long time. Herve Clermont is in the house with us. The big star of Ruthless on BET Plus and doing so many great things, man. I'm so proud of you.
Great to be here. We've been talking about this for quite some time, and I've been telling you, we're not quite ready. We're not quite ready, but I think we're ready now.
Right.
That's true. That's true. It's been a long time that we've been talking about this. You're right.
Yes.
It's cool to actually have it happen, though. You know what I mean? It's funny because, you know, we have friends in this industry, but I always find it that much more fun when I get to sit down with a friend of mine who I've just watched a successful career just unfold in front of me. And for you, that's definitely been the case. I mean, we're going to take it back to New York days where, you know, I remember when you were on One Life to Live, you know.
One Life to Live, Jared Hall.
One Life to Live.
Yes.
One Life to Live.
I didn't know you, but I remember.
You remember, Jared?
And just watching the trajectory of your career, man. I mean, you've done everything from, you know, let's see, NCIS to Law and Order to Snowfall. And currently, of course, you're on, obviously, Ruthless and just doing amazing things, man. So I'm really proud to watch your career and see where it's gone. And you still remain a humble dude, too.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's as we always say, it's a journey, you know, but at times, you know, Hollywood would say, oh, overnight star, you know. But even though I don't consider myself a star, I'm just a working actor. So I'm still humble.
Yeah. Hey, listen, a working actor is half the battle. So
Yes.
I'll take working actor. You know
I got mouths to feed.
Anytime.
I got mouths to feed.
You do. Speaking of that, you got twin daughters and a son.
Yes, I do.
How old are they now?
The twins are going to be 5 in July. My stepson is 11, going on 18. So you can imagine what that's like.
Teenager already.
Oh,
Exactly.
He's been a teenager since he was 9.
How is quarantine life with all of that and homeschooling and all that fun stuff that I hear is very challenging for a lot of parents?
You know, it's funny when you watch other interviews with people talking about parenting and homeschooling, and you know, we give all kudos to the teachers, you know, because they're doing anywhere from 20 to 30 kids at a time. But kids are also very different with their parents than they are with other people. But it's, you know, it's fun. It's fun. You know, it's definitely challenging to get them to focus because they're at home, of course, where they're used to just playing and not having to, you know, work on their penmanship and do addition and subtraction. And then getting the older one to, you know, get on his Zoom calls and stay in the room while class is happening and not coming out asking us questions. I'm just like, so it's, yeah, it's sometimes exhausting. I don't know if you see it on my face. I'm trying to like pretend it's all peaches. It's great. It's excellent.
I see you have some gray on your chin.
I know the gray's coming in.
Yeah. I've got 3 cancers in my house, and my girls and my wife. You know, so I think the grays start.
That's a party.
I love them. Oh yeah.
Well,
Yes,
it's been such an interesting moment in right now with existence, just because, of course, quarantine and lockdown and everything that's going on with COVID and how it's affected the entertainment industry. But what it has not affected is the viewership for you for Ruthless, because fans are loving the show. And I know you got 15 more episodes left on that.
Thank you, fans.
You know,
thank you,
fans.
Yes,
absolutely. We love them. They've been checking in. They've been tweeting. They've been on the page and leaving comments. And it's so funny and I got to give a shout out to my Ruthless cast, because honestly, I've never worked with a group of people who get along so well. I mean, we have a thread that we're constantly talking to each other. And just this morning, I think one of my castmates plays Agent Green, had just texted me that he's like, whoa, they're blowing me up right now because I said something somewhat mean the night before. So the fans are into it.
Well, it's funny because we've interviewed several of the cast members on the show, and you guys all say the same thing. You all say that, you know, we're like family, and I hear about those group texts and how everybody really gets along on set. And I know that even more so important, and just helps, I would think, even more so with your performance, because you just feel a connection to the people and the vibe that you're feeling when you're working with everybody.
Well, you know what? It started basically right away. I mean, everybody was just really pumped to be working with Tyler Perry, and everybody knew, he's got so many projects going at the same time. Not only is working on these other shows and he's writing, he was like, at the time we arrived there, he was finishing the White House, an exact replica of the White House. And so, he's like on the phone, is like, why are you behind? I'm doing all this stuff and I'm on time. So when you said, you need to be ready. And everybody had that mindset. So then when we got there, everybody was like, okay, you ready to study? You ready to rehearse? Ready to rehearse? And, every actor has their own method, as far as memorizing. Some people like to try to get into it first before they memorize. So everybody's got their own method, but everybody pretty much was ready to go over the lines and start rehearsing. And we all clicked, we really all clicked. And it's so much more of a family now than it was then, because obviously we just had met each other and then we're on set and then it's like, boom, but I was lucky that they started filming the compound first. So when I arrived a little late because I was actually fortunate enough to be shooting another show on Showtime. And so I had to finish that up before I flew down to Atlanta. I'm blessed. I'm very, very blessed.
And also a blessing is these plants behind you.
I know, they're like blowing in the wind.
It's blowing in the wind. I feel like you're on some magical island right now.
I have a plant designer. How many people have a plant designer?
Oh, you have a plant designer. Oh, wow.
Designer.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's a new terminology. And that would be my wife.
Oh, right. That's the best plant designer.
Give her kudos.
Actually, she has a company actually called Succulents for Haiti. And so my family has a homeless shelter for children in my father's hometown in Jacmel, Haiti.
Wow.
In Haiti, they call it l'orphelinat, which is basically orphanage. But these kids, sometimes the parents can't really take care of them, money-wise, whatever the case may be, but they're on the streets. So we take them off the streets and we give them shelter, we give them food, we put them in schooling, we put clothes on their back. And so after some time, after the twins were born, my wife was actually working on another business, and she decided that she wanted to do something to help the center out. And so she decided that she wanted to really get in the plant game. And so she makes succulent plant arrangements, succulent cacti, and hanging planters. So kind of everything you kind of see behind me, she makes. We donate for every sale, we donate towards a shelter.
Wow, that's great.
To donate a lot of money to them. So it means a lot to her, it means a lot to me and my mom, who was the captain of the ship. So it's a great business, and she's done extremely well. I'm very proud of her. We just did a Mother's Day box where she partnered up with like 5 other female vendors, small business, of course, and sent them all around the country and rave reviews. So yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
How is the work with the shelter going with the COVID crisis that's going on right now?
Well, luckily, I mean, it's hard to say because, in Haiti, who knows the numbers, how accurate they are, and who knows how much testing is available there. So right now the numbers are relatively low, but people are definitely scared. In Jacmel, in the town where the center is, so far the numbers are very low, but we're a little outside of just like the main city in Jacmel. Jacmel is actually the arts district of Haiti. So we're up in a hill called Monchiel 2, and so the kids are a little removed from everyone else already. But then, of course, they're not going to school because there's other kids who can be infected, and there's just not the same kind of access to washing your hands constantly, or just sanitizers and things like that. Things that we so much, and we can't even take that for granted here.
Exactly.
I know, that's true. That's so true.
You go to the supermarket and these aisles are empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So we're doing well as far as fundraising goes. Everybody needs money right now, and so many 36 million people are out of jobs. So
it's crazy.
We'll see. We'll see how the year goes.
I mean, look at that, talent and giving back. I mean, how does anyone compete with that?
Well, that came from my father. My father was a doctor, And so when he always knew that he came from the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and he was able to continue his career, because there's so many people who immigrate here who aren't able to continue on with their career path, that they, some, you know, doctors, nurses, lawyers, whatever the case may be, and the next thing you know, they come to America and they're driving cabs, or they might be doing something else. And I'm nothing about cab drivers, but you know, people aren't pursuing the same career that they did in their native land. And he knew how lucky he was. And so what I always remember growing up was he always used to have people come to the house, and he would always do free counseling and things like that, because he was actually a forensic psychiatrist. Wow. So he would always help the Haitian community out, because people who didn't have the money. And so his Sundays were spent seeing patients.
Now, how did the family react when they saw the storyline of Ruthless and everything that's going on with that, with cults and all the craziness that the show has?
You're assuming that I told my mom about the storyline.
Listen, I got some Haitian in my family too, so I know they're very particular about certain things. So this storyline.
How come I didn't know this?
I thought you knew that. My grandfather. I thought, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea. No idea.
Yeah, that's where my name comes from, actually. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Excellent.
See, now, after all these years,
the reason why we bond so good.
Exactly. we're brothers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. For a long, like you said, a long time. But, you know, since we're only, 30 now? So
exactly.
Oh, you guys are so young.
Well, no, he's 30. I'm 29. You're a year older.
You buying that? If I'm getting 30 like this, oh my goodness.
Hey, if you guys are 30, I'm 20, so I love
it. So you didn't tell your family about the storyline?
No, I didn't. I let them know that I booked the series as a season regular, being the cast of Ruthless, Tyler Perry show. And they love Tyler Perry. So everybody's really excited about it. And I was like, well, just tune in. I think my mom checked in on the first episode. And I think possibly when, Daikon, in the
yeah.
That might have been, okay, different show. Second scene might have been pretty interesting as well. So, I think my mom maybe tuned out after episode 1, because she hasn't really talked about it. So I'm not going to get mad at that.
Okay. Well, for those of us that haven't seen it yet or want to tune in, tell us about your character.
Okay, my character. I am Mac, and yes, just Mac. I am the lead FBI agent in the office there, and I am trying to infiltrate a cult called the Rakadushis. And I have sent in an undercover agent who may or may not have been compromised. Have to send another agent to kind of check on him. I've got wives coming at me in every single direction, giving me all kinds of grief. I even had the Ruthless fan say, I hope Matt grows a spine. And I was like, wow. I didn't write it. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, my castmates are so much fun to work with. And I'll tell you, it's in fact, my first day on set, actually before I was actually first shooting, Blue, one of the characters who plays one of my agents who is possibly compromised, Andrew. And he's just he's such a character. And so he said, hey, have you met Tyler yet? And I was like, no, not yet. He's like, well, come down to the set, because they were shooting the compound. And so he's like, walking me around, showing me the set, because I didn't shoot there at all. And he's, Tyler Perry's, he's shooting one thing, thinking about the next scene, because that's how his mind works. His mind is, to keep up with that. So, and I didn't want to disturb him, but Blue's, come on, you got to meet him. So, he's working on something, and he's like, hey, TP, that's what he called him. And he was just like, here, Herve's here. As he turns around, it's like, hey, listen, I didn't want to, I was like, good to meet you again, because actually I had met him probably 5 years ago when I got, I tested for haves and have-nots.
Ah.
Yeah, I've been in Tyler's universe for
you have
a little bit of time.
Yeah.
I got I pinned 3 times for his shows, and finally booked one, 2 or 3 shows. And it was actually interesting when I met with his co-producer, Mark Swinton. He was like, yeah, we've been looking to work with you for a while. And I was just like, the
Wow,
biggest.
it's gonna be a great feeling.
It's a great
I was like, oh, thank you. I want to give a big hug over that big desk over his. Like, one of those things like, you've been waiting to work with me for a while. Because, acting is, it's tough. You get no's constantly. And you're close so often. And, when you get pinned for a show, you're just like, okay, I'm pinned again. And then you're like, if something happens, something happens. But, a lot of times it doesn't happen. So, I got that call from my agent. She's like, you sitting down? And I'm just like, yeah. Like, okay, you booked Ruthless. And I was just like, okay, great, excellent. She's like, okay, you got to fly down tomorrow. I'm like, whoa, time out. I was like, we can't do this because we're like shooting. I was like, how's that going to work? Because, booked one show or committed to. And that's how it always happens here. If you're free and you've got nothing to do, nothing comes around your way. If you book a trip, you're booking a show. If you book another show, there's going to be a conflict with something else. It always happens. Yeah, and luckily they said they didn't want to recast. They kept me. They allowed me not to do the live show and just kind of pre-tape me the night before. So I flew out down to Atlanta on a Thursday, and then so I was able to get there and shoot. But it's been a ride. It's been a ride. I've been loving it. Been enjoying so much of it. And honestly, like I said, I keep going back to this cast who I totally love. But I keep in contact with them more than I do most of my friends, because we're constantly
that says a lot.
Everybody's doing something, everybody's interview here, interview there. I think Jamie Kalicka just had he had a cover magazine that he was on, so he shares that. So we're always sharing things with each other, and a couple of the girls and some of the guys, actually Matt, he bought some Mother's Day boxes. So we're there for each other. We're always supporting each other.
Yeah, I mean, even that's theoretically, I mean, you and I have been talking about doing this interview, but theoretically you saw the interview from one of your cast members who shared it as well. So, and we've had other cast members now who've had on the show who are coming up on future shows, just because you guys share so much with each other, like family.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of, I mean, and it's never happened to me. I've worked on a lot of things. I haven't had like a series regular like this. So I assume, I just don't think that this is normal. But like I said, the way we gel and the way we, kind of consider ourselves family. So I'm blessed, fortunate. I mean, even before the show, I always consider myself blessed, When my twins were born, I think I had maybe a 2-year lull in maybe commercials. I had shot some TV shows, and twins were born. Next day, I booked a commercial that ran for 3 years. And I just kept booking after that and booking after that. So my twins were definitely my good luck.
Yeah. Well, I love that good luck. And I mean, I remember when you were getting those commercials, I was hitting you up like, hey man, I'm sitting in my living room and your face popped up on my TV today. I'm like, you're everywhere. You're on like 15 commercials right now.
Right now it's actually gone down to 1. now it's only 1, but they just renewed last month, so a good 2-year run, another 2-year run for that as well. So,
hey, checks.
That's
I like
fantastic.
That sounds like checks to me. That sounds like checks.
Well, I do radio for them. I do industrials, and I do print for them as well. So I'm kind of like their spokesperson. So.
And you mentioned Tyler and you meeting him, and of course he's enjoyed your work for many years. When you started with the show, and I hear that everything is very fast paced with Tyler. There's not really a lot of rehearsal time. You go in, you got to be ready. And is that something that, what's something like you learn from him actually, from kind of watching his process and seeing how quickly he has actors work, but he also brings out the best in all the people that work with him?
Well, I'll tell you, we all call it kind of a boot camp. And I will say that once I've worked for Tyler, working on another show is pretty easy. I mean, as far as, because you have to be play ready. I like to say play ready, because when people when you're doing a play and you get up on stage, you're not, wait, cut, you can't do that. You're
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
right through it. And so if you put on that mindset that you're doing it, you know, you're not shooting in front of a camera, that you're actually doing a play, and you got to be ready, you got to be prepared, and you know how he works, and you know what he expects. He expects professionals. You know, he sets the bar, and no one wanted to disappoint. So the shooting was so fast, but I know I actually shot. I started shooting Snowfall when I got back, and I remember because Tyler, we shot maybe 2-3 scene, or we would shoot it 2 or 3 times max. I mean, it was quick. Sometimes, okay, good. After the first one, you're like, wait a second, I want to do it again. Like, okay, moving on.
He's like, we moving on to the next.
Like, nope, it's
Because
fine.
that's how we as actors, you know, we're kind of like, oh, I could have done that better, or maybe I should have done this, or maybe I should have moved that way. But he's like, in his mind, he says, I got what I need, and I liked it. So, you know, we put our trust in him. So, and because he moves so fast, then, you know, like I said, I went to another show. I went to Snowfall, and I remember doing a scene, and we shot it 30, 40 times, and it was just like, okay, all right, you know, but it's great. I mean, there are different processes. Every director works in a different way, and you know, I know that once working with Tyler Perry, I can work with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he's literally the captain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, you know it. He knows it, and you know it. Absolutely. But you know, he still has fun. You know, I mean, my first day, I think I had to shoot 10 scenes back to back because he does location shooting. And basically what I mean by that is, so for instance, I'm in my office and I will shoot 10 scenes in my office, and I'll have change of clothes for different days, depending on, you know, what episode we're on. And I remember shooting, you know, the 10 scenes. And then I was like, okay, finally got that done. It was just like, you know, I might have like, you know, 10-minute breaks in between because he would shoot something else just so I could change. And then when I was done, he goes, okay, now moving on to the next scene. Okay, Herve's doing now. Or what's Herve doing in this? And I'm just like, you know, my heart just like, I was like, did I forget something? I was like, there's no way I forgot a scene, because another actor had told me once that because you're shooting so much and you find your own material, you find out where you're going to be and what day you're shooting, you got to be on top of your game. And he had told me, he's like, he missed one scene. And so what TP said was just like, he's like, okay, look at your sides for a minute, and then let me know when you're ready to go. Let's make it quick. And so
pressure. That just made me anxious.
Right?
Wow. I had to adjust my seat.
Oh man, so you know, I want to make sure. I mean, I looked at my books like over and over and over, double check, triple check, you know. And so when he said that to me, I was just like, my heart just started racing. And I'm the practical joker. I am always a practical joker. And then he leans in behind the door. He goes, "Gotcha." I was like, oh.
He was okay.
Oh yeah, right. He was messing with me. He was messing with me because he knew how much we were doing then, and you know, that was our first day shooting together. And he just kind of, you know, finally being done, he just wanted us a good job, great job, Herve, and just kind of have fun with me. So, you know, what comes around goes around. I do this to everybody. Tyler Perry got me. He got me.
But it also says a lot because, you know, you've been so trained through the years and theatrically trained that you were ready. You know what I mean? You were still going to be ready. You might have been nervous, but you were ready. You
got to do it. If they ask you to do it, you got to do it. You got to be ready. I mean, one of the things that as an actor, you know, preparation, you know, you have to be ready to memorize quickly. I mean, like I said, every actor has their own process. I've been very lucky that I'm very good with cold reading. So I was like, okay, let's do this. You know,
do you think that you would ever want to get behind the camera like Tyler and do some directing in the future as he's done?
That would be definitely probably something I would be interested in doing. Yeah, I have a couple friends who are directors, and you know, I've shadowed them, and it's a lot of work. I put the directors have so much to do, put their storyboards together. I mean, and just be like, I would imagine we had, let's say I had 10 scenes, right? But they were shooting all day long. You know, so they're not allowed to leave like we can and have a break. You know, so you always got to be there. You always got to be on. And so kudos to the directors out there. They're doing a phenomenal.
Putting in work, yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So yeah, I would love to do it. I'll start with a little short video with my twins, and and I'll go from there.
Yeah. Well, Tyler actually announced that he was going to do his best to get production back up and running at his studio by July.
Yeah.
And he sort of made mention that he was probably going to kind of quarantine everybody onto the lot, and you have to stay there throughout it. Have you had any communication about it? How do you feel about this moving forward, and what might be the setup for working with Tyler?
I was reading something about the fact that Tyler Perry was already talking or figuring out how he was going to open when he was closing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it just shows you how his mind works. He was just like, he's always ahead of the game, steps ahead. I've got people that work that I know, just being a little older, that work at some certain studios who've actually kind of picked my brain a little bit about, how Tyler shoots and want to know the process because, making money in this industry is not easy. And, so people are trying to kind of, recalibrate in order to make their businesses, a little bit more lucrative. And obviously now, it's going to be quite a challenge. So, I know he was already thinking about that, knowing that he has 330 acres, knowing he has all the housing there. He can contain everybody there, fly us in his private jet. I'm not mad at that.
Hey.
Right?
I ain't mad at that at all.
Because that was one of the things I thought about was, okay, we could test negative here. In fact, I actually took a test on Saturday and I got my results today and I was negative.
Congratulations.
Which is good because honestly, last week I had like a headache for a couple of days and I was a little achy. I'm like, please no,
Yeah.
Twins who, can, sometimes if their colds are really bad, they can get a little bit of breathing issues, some respiratory issues. So I definitely don't want to bring anything home to them.
Yeah.
But, like I said, it's, he's got a very detailed plan. He's really thought about it and, he's just waiting for his green lights. And, I think people are going to be, the actors and the crew will be tested 4 times while they're there. We're all excited and we're kind of ready to go. I think he's going to take every precaution in the book. I mean, you see his posts on his Instagram and he's always looking out for people and telling them the latest thing that he's heard, like take vitamin D because, African Americans are low in vitamin D and it's something that they found to be one of the a contributing factor in our mortality rate. So when it deals with the COVID. So, he's always looking out for people. I will say Georgia. That scares me a little bit, but
yeah. I mean, listen, it makes me nervous. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So I think they opened up a little too early and everybody's antsy. Everybody in this country is antsy. I've seen posts from Atlanta. I was just like, oh, please, people, stay in. Don't congregate like that. Let's stay alive. So, but when it comes to Tyler Perry Studios, I feel very confident. I'm not really worried about that.
And then I know you have 15 more episodes that we mentioned earlier. What can fans expect for the rest of the season? Or what can you tell us? Give us a little tidbit.
Excitement.
What can you share?
I tell you. Everybody's sitting on the edge of their seat trying to figure out what's going to happen next. We shot so fast. Honestly, there's certain things. In fact, I remember all of us talking one time. I said, wait, that happened? They're like, didn't you read through? I was like, yeah, I did. But I had a stack of, episodes like right there. So, you read as much. You don't have the time to like read every episode. So, so as fans, stay tuned. It's going to be a fun ride. Tyler's going to definitely surprise you with some things. So that's all about I can tell you, Mac's staying strong. Mac ain't going to die. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to tell you anything.
We got the exclusive from Herve right now, Mac.
Right. I hope I'm back on season 2.
Right.
And then since you have been in the game for so long, man, as an actor, you mentioned some things earlier that I thought were great, just facts and tidbits to put out there. There's waves and there's ups and downs and you go through obstacles. But if you really want this, you stick with it and you follow the path to the end. But to help kind of just to give information to people, you know, what is something that you use for yourself to kind of keep you inspired and keep you moving in that positive direction, especially, you know, when we're in a time right now with COVID where it has affected so many careers, it has affected our way of life, and a lot of people are down right now.
Sure, no, absolutely. I'm going to tell you something. It's and I've been in the acting game for 22 years. So like I said, it's been a journey. I've had this unwavering belief that this is where I was supposed to be. You know, it was just in my core, you know, and it was something that I loved doing. And, you know, even though I went to school for pre-med, which is kind of funny when I think about it, you know, when I decided to leave pre-med, I told my parents, well, I could play a doctor then, okay? But yeah, you know, I had this belief, I had the passion for acting, and it's, you can't take it personally. And that's really one of the things, because I've seen so many actors that I started with when I moved here 18 years ago that have left the game and the game, but left the industry, so to speak. Because it's not easy. It's really not easy. You get the door closed in your face so often, but if you believe in yourself and you continue to prepare, you continue taking classes, you know, surround yourselves with other artists like you, whether it be music, other actors, you know, stay creatively influenced by those that around you. It kind of keeps you, you know, kind of motivated, you know, because if everybody's still working on that, you know, keeping their eyes on the prize is kind of like I always say. And you know, I never wavered from that. And, you know, that's always kept me going no matter what. I mean, there's been, I think earlier on, maybe 6-7 years in, you know, and, you know, you have relationships and like, so, you know, what are you going to do if this doesn't work out? And I'm just like, I've never thought about that.
I love that.
Because this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And some didn't understand it. And I was like, and, you know, it's not for everybody, you know? And, you know, my wife, she knew I was an actor. She never questioned it. She never asked me if I was ever thinking about anything else outside of acting. I've always made sure that I can take care of myself as well as my family since. I used to be an ambassador for Remy Martin for 8 years, which was a really, I used to be one of those people who used to ask, how did you get that job? Then I became the person that people were asking.
I've been to a couple of your events.
Exactly. I remember he's like, when can I go? When's the next one? When's the next one?
Right, exactly.
I mean, truly. I mean, you get paid to travel the country, sometimes overseas, to talk about cognac and sip cognac. I mean, it's not a bad gig.
Not such a bad life.
Not bad at all.
And, you know, being in front of people and public speaking, that always helps with, because I honestly, anytime I came back from a gig, I would go to an audition and I'd end up booking it. And it's just constantly being in front of people because, you know, people sometimes get that nervous energy, you know, and I can't say that I do. I definitely have, you know, I mean, I don't know if there's an actor here that can say that they've never had some nervous energy. And, but for the most part, I like to kind of go into the room and own those lines and not think about the lines, you know, because when you're thinking about lines, you're not who you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you're definitely owning it, brother.
Owning it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
What's next? What's after this? What are you working on next that fans can find out about?
Well, let's see. So you're going to see me on the Cintas because that's still running. And we'll see how things are going to work out because a lot of times those are airing on sports. Snowfall, I really don't know when we're going to go back to start shooting again because I only shot one episode this season. This is season 4. So I had the privilege of working with John Singleton as well. So John Singleton, Tyler Perry, you know, I'm blessed.
Yes.
And may rest in peace. So we'll see what happens with when that starts up again. And of course, we're going to come back for Ruthless, season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
That's
8.
right.
Keep going.
And who knows, you know, Tyler likes to work with his actors on different projects. So, you know, I'm in Tyler world, so maybe he'll bring me in on something else. I know BET also likes working with actors that have been on their on their network. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm open for anything. I'm open for challenges, you know?
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
And then what's one of the first things you're going to do once this lockdown is over and we're off of quarantine?
Interesting. What am I going to do? You know, the girls have been begging me, you know, when you're a father, you know, you kind of, it's not about what you're going to do first. It's about what the family wants to do. So, they've been begging me. They want to see one of their friends. It's like their best friend. So they've already wrote these little notes to her. They're almost like triplets. She's a little smaller. She's a year younger than them, but they love each other. And so they want to go over there and then all want to go to the beach together. So, you know, we'll all do that because they love the beach. So that'll be, you know, a big family excursion.
That sounds like a fun trip to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off. You were about to say something else.
No. I was going to joke and say, and then Vegas. No, not Vegas.
Hey, call me if you do that.
Putting
Call
their hands on everything. There's just too much germs flowing. You
It's
know.
gonna take a while for Vegas to come back.
Yeah.
Unless everybody's walking around with gloves, I ain't going.
Exactly, and mask and everything else.
Yeah.
Bodysuits.
It's like a whole thing.
just all plastic bodysuits.
Yeah, no, trust me. It made me think of a meme I saw, so I'm just laughing at that.
Well, Herve, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you today. I've known you for years. I'm just so proud of where your career has gone and where it's going to continue to go. I feel lucky that I got the chance to talk to you about the show today, and I know we'll have many more. We're gonna have our Oprah moment.
Well, I thank you very much for finally doing this with me. You are my first interviewer, so you too.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, my first interview after Ruthless. So it was a lot of fun, and thank you for saying, Herve, okay, are you ready now?
Where can fans find you on social media and also to find out more about what's going on with your career?
So I am just media.
I already know what you're going to say.
I'm trying to be better with social media. Even kind of tease me. Oh, Herve posted, So on Instagram, I'm HerveC19. So that's HerveC19. I think I'm supposed to become official at some point, so I don't know when I'm going to do that. On Twitter, at Herve Clermont. And is there another one? Oh, Facebook.
Let's see. Well, I don't know if you do any of the other like TikToks and
Yeah, it's I remember a manager one time saying, "Oh, you got to do Pinterest too." I'm like, why? Why? Why do I got to do Pinterest? Are people really following to see what I'm like doing, or? And I'm like, I don't know.
They do. They do. The fans
they want to know.
They want to know.
Are you on Pinterest, guys?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I don't feel so bad.
No, listen. I'm still trying to just keep my going ons with TikTok. You know what I mean? Like I just got, I know it's been around for a little bit.
I haven't even gotten to TikTok yet.
Yeah, I'm just trying to like get the energy to keep that going. You know what I mean? So I'm still an Instagram guy.
Oh, okay. So now my turn to be the interviewer. So you have a TikTok video out. Where can we see that, Derrial?
It's on my Derrial Christon TikTok account.
You gotta post them on Instagram like everybody else.
I know. I'm gonna post. I know. I got a couple that I've collected, but it's I'm also very critical about what I put out there in social media. So
of course.
I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to put this one out there yet, but I
want to make sure that your moves are on point.
You know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure when I bust out that move, it's got to be correct.
Oh, it's got to be, because I remember you from back in the day, man. No, I'm kidding. You held it down, man.
I've come a long way, Herve. I've come a long way. Still got way to go.
Oh man, that's super.
Courtney, where can everybody find you?
I can't even see anymore.
I'm crying.
I am only on Twitter and Instagram at Stewart Starlet.
Well, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. Apparently, I need to post my videos, but you can catch me all over those places. And I'll text you when I post it, Herve. How about that?
Okay.
So
all right. So I can share it on my page.
So you can share it on your page. Oh boy, I don't know. Well, man, congratulations, man. I look forward to watching the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And
you
got to come back too. You got to come back.
Absolutely. Maybe come back with the cast. Maybe I'll invite the cast back with us. We'll see what we can do.
We want a big cast party.
Who knows?
Yes.
Who knows? Courtney, it was a pleasure.
It's a pleasure as well.
Okay. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you. Enjoy your Memorial Day, man.
We didn't get interrupted by my kids. I can't believe it.
I was hoping they would make a guest appearance. I haven't seen them in a while, so I'm hoping
you
they
know
would
what?
pop in.
I think the wife said, "Don't you dare go outside."
All right, man. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.
All right, you too. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, we just wrapped.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.